Okay, basically we are gonna walk through what I do every we are going to walk through how I set up my boat every time I go out. We're at Skiff Point. You can see there's Seattle way over there. It's a little bit of a windy day. Clouds are moving pretty fast to the north. Tide is moving in right now. High tide's around 1 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. And so the tide's coming in. At low tide, where you see that seagull out there, water will usually be below that post, way below, so you can see the rocks. So I've got about 5 trips I have to make here. I usually start with the bulkiest items first. Got my downrigger, the oars, and my rods, 2 trolling rods. Always good to have a backup. Carry this down. You can see why I like to be as close to high tide as possible. Reduces the walk. Tide's gonna come in, so hopefully by the time I get everything down here, my stuff won't be buried in water. So you generally have to be a little swift and brisk. Try to get this done in 5 trips. I've managed to get a system down where I try to get everything in those trips. Oh wow, there's a big sea lion out there. That's not a good sign. You might see him come up on the video. But generally, if there's a sea lion around, I might need to go away from him. See, there he is. Wow, he's big. That is not a seal, that is a sea lion. He'll probably come up again. Yep, there he is. That is definitely the kind of monster that will take off with I shouldn't say monster. That is the kind of animal that will take off with a salmon on the line. So you'll end up reeling in just ahead. And you can see why I fish here. If that guy's here, that means there's lots of bait fish around and salmon. He wouldn't be here unless there were. So we may not catch anything today. We'll see. If he's hanging out the whole time or not. It's far less windy than it was last time I was out here earlier in the week. Let's try and get this. And this. And this. Oh, that's the heavy one. Most of this stuff is waterproof. Stuff that's not so water resistant, I put further up, just in case a huge wave comes in, which has been known to happen. Alright, now usually my net is out in the car, but it's under the boat in the Thule, so we're gonna have to get this guy out first. That's not normally how we like to get the boat off, but it's pretty durable. So now I just gotta get it onto my back. I'll show you how we do that. Lift it up. Just to make sure everything's okay. And I didn't see anything too sharp over there, so I don't hear any massive leak. And I grab these two handles like so. And we get this monster on our back. My back. Turn around. This boat isn't too heavy. It's actually easier to carry like this than it is when it's deflated and just a big mound of rubber plastic. There are barnacles around here. The hull's pretty good at putting up with this. Get her down. I always have the hull pointed out in case there's a huge wave that comes in. Does happen. And now I don't really want to dilly-dally too much because, well, we don't want the tide taking the boat away. I've had to chase it down before because I have spent too much time. Okay, usually I don't have to do this, but the good net's up here. If I do get a decent sized salmon, it's good to have a net that's gonna hold it. Let's lock up the car. I get my life jacket. Oh, and there goes my boat. It's alright, it's high tide. It's not gonna go out with the tide. Tide's coming in, so if it was a low tide, I'd be more concerned. But there we go. Now you're gonna see me put the boat together. We start with the seats or the benches. That's not a sitting bench, that's just for the motor. Here is the custom rig that I've made so it can hold a downrigger and a rod holder. Let's straighten that out here. There we go. Let's make sure everything's tight. So you got some waves coming in. It's all right, nothing's damaged, getting wet. Okay, the other one. Okay, there are pins that I can put in the back of this, but sometimes I just find them to be more of a nuisance. I've caught clothing on them as I've hopped in the boat, things like that that just make it difficult. And now I'm gonna start loading up the boat. I'm gonna push it out into these waves. You can see they're a little big, not that big, I've had bigger. And the tide's coming in. So by the time I'm done loading up the boat, I probably will have no need to lift this out. See why I wear hip waders. Big waves coming in. I'm just gonna get the downrigger and rod holders put on while I'm here. That's the downrigger weight. A little rocky, a little jumpy this morning. Yeah, we'll probably get a little rain. We're out there. See, my boat's already lifting up in the surf. Perfect, because I'm getting the last bits on. And I won't have to lift her over rocks. Let's push her around that way. Tighten up the motor here. Get the battery on. That's the problem. When the wind's going one way and the tide's going another. We'll point her this way. Actually, just put her sideways. These waves aren't too big. There we go. Perfect. I like to get as much of the engine set up so I can just get moving when it's time to get moving. Okay. But it is a little rough, so I am going to push her back. I don't want everything to get so wet right away. So we'll just point her out. Try to have the waves push the boat back like this right into the beach here. Get everything else in the boat. It's not dilly-dally. That's already starting to push the boat. Okay, get that in. Downrigger on. Oh, something's jamming the block. The downrigger here. Wind is a little strong today. There we go. Okay, now all we need is the last battery. And I'm gonna lift her up just a tad. And yeah, you can see it's a little rougher today than usual. Don't want her sideways. It's actually a lot calmer out there than it is right here. So that's why it's important to just sort of get your stuff in the boat, have a plan. It's died down. See, there was just a few wakes there. And now we just want to, let's get this in the rod holder, get a few things out of the way. And now we're just gonna get in, keep our balance. We're going to row out past this surf breaking. Okay. All right. There we go. Now we can relax a little bit. We're by no means fully set up. And I don't even have my life jacket on yet. Let's get that on right away. Just going to stand up. That's why I love this boat. Hard to believe that you could stand in an inflatable like this, but as long as it's not too crazy, you can stand. Okay, we're good. We're going to get the motor down, release the kick up. This is the safety key. If that comes off, should I fall off the boat, the engine will stop. All right. Now there's a couple things I haven't done yet, like set up the electronics. What a beautiful day. It's not too bad actually. It was far worse on Monday when I landed that nice 11-pound coho. I don't see that sea lion, but that doesn't mean he's not around lurking. While the boat's moving, I'm going to get the downrigger set up. Always check the fittings, make sure that these guys are tight. This is a 12-pound downrigger weight. Make sure this thing creates a lot of strain just in general. Okay, put that up there. Let's get that over there. We'll put this rod over here. Let's face it towards the back. I'm just gonna kill the motor for now. The wind's taking us north, which isn't so bad. I've caught coho all in this area here. We'll see on the electronics if we'll have any success finding some schools. It's a nice mount from Float Tube Fanatics. Actually, it has a nice 12-volt low amp battery, but I treat it like a backup battery these days and just use this larger battery so I don't have to worry. And I usually want to get this guy plugged in and going right away. This fish finder has GPS. It shows me past routes. It's a little, screen's a little. Let's clean that off. And you can see my past route. My last route is in yellow there. Not sure if you can see that on the video. Let me see if I can set up a new trail so I don't get confused. make this trail black in color, and we'll save that, and we'll show the last two trails just so that, okay. Now we're going to set up the actual sonar, and this might look a little crazy what I'm about to do, but it's really not that crazy. I feel very safe in this boat, so I just need to make sure there's no kinks in this before I drop it. Let's make sure we're good that way, and we just loop it around. Sometimes I don't even have to get my, oh crane, come on. Yeah, that way. Let gravity work it down. There we go. Now, when I was loading up, I definitely looked around to make sure I shouldn't expect any huge waves to be coming from some freighter. And this is the sonar. This will show me now if there's any fish, bait fish, any fish down below me, or as we motor. Tie the cord out of the way so it doesn't get caught in the prop. And now I can get an accurate depth reading. I'm in about 78 feet of water. And today I'm gonna start trolling at 35 feet. So there you go, that's our basic setup. Oh, I forgot one thing. I need to get the license plates on. Since we are operating an engine, even though it's not gas, it is an engine. We have to have our license plate, our Washington license plate, and it's as easy as that. Oh, good thing I saw that. Let's get this back on here, clamp down. Okay, good, and good. These are self-made. Let's get some of these other tools out here too. Oh, I want to loop it. If they're too low, they'll hug the water and then they'll just rip right off. I haven't lost one yet, but one day, who knows? Hopefully not. And in my hand here, I have a battery lock for the engine. That just helps keep it in place. So that's the last thing I need to do. Okay, so we'll end this video here and we'll start up with setting a new rig up.